Welcome to Season 3 of Artists on Art. I'm Drea Macdonald, and our first guest this season is none other than Juno-winning singer-songwriter MacLellan. We talked about early musical influences, sad songs, and how to measure success. We had a really great time. She's one of the sweetest human beings ever. I hope you enjoy it. You don't know what to do, and you don't know what to say. Forget all that. Start anyway. Spark that fire and build it high and watch it burn. Then let it die. MacLellan, all the way here from the west end of the island.
Summerside, PEI.
Thanks for coming all the way. I was hoping the sun would shine today because St. Peter's Bay really pops in the sunshine. But
it's so beautiful here. It's gonna shine.
It is gonna shine. Yep. I want to start at the very beginning with you. Lots of songwriters I know, or that have been on this podcast, have started writing songs when they were really little. Most of them, and myself, didn't have a famous songwriter as a parent, as that model growing up. I'm wondering, were you writing songs and poetry as a really little kid? When do you remember starting that?
I do remember writing some very bad poetry as a small child, and then sharing this one terrible song with my dad when I was in junior high, maybe grade 7 or...
Mm-hmm.
It was like an anti-smoking song, my first protest song.
Well done.
Thank you. But it wasn't really until after my dad died that I suddenly felt like I had so many things to express.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I really started writing songs, and I just kind of hid away in high school in my bedroom learned how to play guitar and played a lot of sad, I feel like Lisa Loeb and Sarah MacLachlan songs. I had their tab books and just learned how to play guitar from that.
Yep. Yeah, those two were there for me too. And I think a lot of people that I've talked to started really getting into it as teenagers. And I think that's pretty natural that we're having all of these new emotions and we're figuring out how to kind of deal with them. And kids are lucky if they have an art kind of practice to dive into at that age.
Absolutely. And it was part of our life growing up, in PEI where everybody seems to be born with a fiddle.
Mm-hmm.
Our family, we didn't go to sessions, and that wasn't part of my youth. It was Dad having songwriter friends come over, and my dad sitting around on the couch always editing songs and writing songs and working on in this slow, steady, quiet way. And it's kind of what made me think that was a normal job because I didn't know any different.
Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah. No, it's not.
It's great.
But how interesting to have that perspective as a kid when, so many others, I had no idea that was a job at all. It was just what people did on TV,
Right.
I was but I did not know anybody that, did it for a living. So I don't know why. I was we're going to do that.
Yeah. And then when my daughter is now 20 and I saw her go through the same kind of, all her childhood, I was like, do you want to take piano? Can I teach you? And she was similar to me where she didn't want to learn from her parents and she didn't want to take lessons. And she just, in that same space, it is true. You just have so many emotions when you're a teenager. There's a lot to go through, and it is so great to have a practice and an art to process.
Especially for really sensitive kids, right?
Yeah.
Because the feelings are bigger.
They're so big.
Yeah. Require a lot more energy to figure out.
Mm-hmm.
So I was thinking of you earlier and around in the early 2000s when we were all kind of starting out, and I was thinking about mentors and champions, and then I started thinking about Lloyd Doyle.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And so I was wanting to ask, why is it important, do you think, to have champions and mentors early on in a career?
Oh, it's something I've thought about a lot because I feel like I've been so lucky to have a career. It's been 25 years now, and I don't know that I would have had it without Lloyd. Like,
Mm.
I was hanging out, with James Phillips and the Summerside crew, and then, like, getting to know people in Charlottetown, and I felt so outside of everything myself, but, like, Lloyd hunted us down. He,
Mhm.
like, would drive to Summerside just to talk to us, and I remember there was one moment where we had talked so much, and then somebody at some point at Baba's at the bar was like, "Is Lloyd your manager?" And I looked down the bar at where Lloyd was sitting, and I was like, "Yeah, I guess he is." But his belief in me was like it spurred, like, so much growth and so much my own belief in myself and that things were possible.
Mhm.
And I remember early on, like, we sat down and made a 5-year plan,
Mm.
which I have yet to do again. But that 5-year plan were things that I didn't even know I was dreaming about, but he's like, "Let's just, what things would you like to do?" And things like go on my first real tour, or like the one that wasn't I was like, "Oh, I don't know if I really want a label, but, like, a label would be cool." Anyway, all these things, everything we dreamed of for that 5-year plan happened within 1 year
Hmm.
because he was there to help me do it.
Mhm.
And I think a lot of artists are really good at art, and it's really hard to be good at the rest of it, and if you don't have
Yeah.
somebody, and I feel that way now, like, I feel like, "Where's my Lloyd now?" Could use someone.
Yeah.
It's like, I was talking to someone last night about cheerleaders, that we all need a cheerleader. And even I was like, yeah, it's like you need your manager or whoever, someone to be your cheerleader. And he's like, yeah, and then the manager needs a cheerleader too. I was like,
Yeah.
oh gosh, we all need someone to believe in us.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think if you can find that, then you're golden.
Yeah. You're on your way.
Yeah.
How do you deal with the business side? Like, how is it being an entrepreneur and a creative
Mhm.
person at the same time? How do you manage that?
It took me a long time to know it was a business that I was doing.
Mhm.
It was just that was such a nice scene back in the day, and yeah, the early
Yeah.
2000s in Charlottetown was rich,
Yeah.
and we were all just making music, and how wonderful, you know?
Mhm.
Um, and then I just kept doing it somehow and, raising Isabel at the same time, and, um, I don't know at what point I was like, "Oh, I have to figure out how to run." It's an actual business, like, I have to do my taxes, I need to like, now artists have to be everything, like, you have to.
Yeah.
If you don't hire someone, then you're a graphic designer, accountant, bookkeeper, publicist.
And even just recognizing what you're worth and asking for,
Yeah,
money that reflects that is a huge
that's
thing to
so
learn.
hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's the one thing that nobody wants to. It's a real part. It's like that's the job part of my work.
Yeah.
And then the rest, getting to play and getting to sit home and write songs is like that's the dream.
Mhm.
And it's such a small percentage like of my job because most of it is. Yeah, admin work and social media, which I hate so much, and
Mhm.
traveling, like sitting on a plane or like driving a car. Like so
Mhm.
little of it is the actual magic part, but
Mhm.
it's still worth it. And I know how privileged and lucky I am to get to do it full time.
Mhm. Okay, so COVID-19. Those shutdowns were pretty devastating for so many different artists, and
Mhm.
I know that because I found an interview with you online,
Oh gosh, what did I say?
it was from 2024, and it was, Just Us Folk.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, you mentioned, getting into some different areas, building some skills in making films and things like
Yeah.
that, during that time, and also you got to, collaborate with some people who are also really busy normally. And, so I'm wondering, like, did you learn anything in that times about the way that you make art? And did anything change about kinda how you do art in the world?
Yeah, and good question. I think that art kind of stopped a little bit, like, in that first the impact of 2020 I put my guitar away. Like, I came home from a tour, and I put my guitar away, and then the world was over.
Yeah, 'cause you had released an album, like, the fall before, right?
Yeah, it was
Coyote?
like me and every other artist was like, "This is gonna be the best year." We had
Yeah.
a lot of big things planned, and then I really didn't take my guitar out of the case unless I had to do a live stream or something. And
Mhm.
then I started playing piano, because it's always there and it's never in a case, you know?
Yep.
And I loved that. I started realizing that I needed music not to be my job at that point. I needed
Mhm.
to reconnect with the beginnings of what made me so connected with music, the joy of being not so good at it and learning how to be better and
Mhm.
finding new ways around a different instrument. So that was really powerful for me. I remembered that love just playing music. I think I had forgotten.
Mhm.
And, but it did, I feel like everybody learned how to, like, we invested and then taught ourselves technology.
Mhm.
And I got better at recording my own stuff. And I actually made a little Christmas EP, which
Mhm.
was very fun. And I learned how to do video, which was a whole new art form for me, and, I really love it. Like, I started digging into, like, these old
Mm.
archival film footage, like old home movies and stuff that are just there. Anyone can use them, and I started making my own music videos with those, and I love that, and, uh, yeah, I learned other things that I'm not that good at. But, yeah, it was, I feel like it was a hard time, but it was a rich time because there was time. There was time to just
Mhm.
try out new things that you wouldn't otherwise, and like you said, like, there were a lot of people around that, like Tim Chasen and Rachel Beck and I suddenly were like, "Well, let's do a little music project," and we got to do some shows together and, things that would just never normally happen because everybody's moving so fast.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You also said in that interview that, you were tired of writing sad songs and wanted to embrace joy more and write about that.
Good luck, Kathy.
Yeah. Now, I'm also a person known for writing sad songs, and I am a firm believer that there is a place for sad songs.
Yes.
But I've also been writing more about more joyful and
Nice.
happier things as I get older. And I'm wondering, how do you see the trajectory of how your songwriting has kind of evolved and moved
Yeah.
in the last 20 years?
Well, it is nice getting older and having
Mm.
different things to write about.
Yeah.
And I wrote, like, one song that it's called "I'm Not Waiting for a Miracle," and I wrote it when I was really depressed, which is often when I would write my deepest, saddest songs.
Mhm.
Um, but I've noticed this thing in me. It's maybe like, internal, like, safety net kicking in. It's like, "Actually, no, we can't sit in our sadness anymore."
Mm.
I'm talking to myself.
Yeah.
Nice inner dialogue.
Stop wallowing.
And so I wrote this song basically to get myself out of that place, like, to force myself to do something positive in the moment. And so that, yeah, it was, I don't know, there's just, like, something nice about being this age and learning new skills and finally just wanting to live a joyful life because
Mhm.
I really loved being sad,
Yeah.
and I don't wanna be anymore.
No. It was it was great while it lasted, but it's nice to have the perspective of somebody in their 40s, and
Yeah,
looking back and going like, "Eh, I mean,
yeah.
you could have had more fun."
I know.
I mean, we did have a lot of fun,
I there
but
was yeah. I could have been less worried about the fun I was having, though.
there you go. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to get to.
But as
Yeah.
far as, like, the trajectory of songwriting, I think I don't know about you, but I definitely wrote a lot, like, it was constant, all the time writing,
Mhm.
a huge collection of songs that only some of them were okay.
Mhm.
But, um, now I find I write a lot less often, but the songs come out more kind of fully formed, and I
Mm.
think between just more life experience and writing experience, all of that writing that we did. It feels like I don't need to write as many because the ones that are coming out are just, hopefully, they're stronger, in my opinion. Whether they're more likable, I don't know.
Who cares?
Who cares? I'm not making it for other people. I just hope they like it.
I hear you. Yeah, I think for me, it seems like I feel like a lot of the work is going on in my head kind of automatically and subconsciously
Yeah.
rather than me poring over words on a page for days and days and rewriting. I think a lot of it's going on in there.
Yeah. I guess
And
that's
then when
like
it
the
comes out,
10,000 hours or whatever. You just
Yeah.
you've done it so much. You know right away that one line is, or how you want the rhyming scheme to be, or if there is one. It's
Yeah, exactly. You've already taught your brain how to do that, and now it just does it.
Yeah. Good job, younger us.
See, we did a few things right.
We did some things.
Here's a nice one. So I remember, I don't know if you remember this, but I remember sending you a message a long time ago. It was either while I was on a backpacking trip in Europe or directly after I got back. But I remember very clearly listening to Dark Dream Midnight on a train going through the Alps and getting very teary-eyed because it reminded me so much of PEI.
Oh.
And so I'm wondering, I'm getting teary-eyed right now, thinking about trains and Alps, but do you ever think about the identity of your songs or how and where they live in the hearts of the people that have heard them?
I think about it when somebody tells me something like that like a song of mine that I wrote from, probably a very tender place gets to live somewhere else with somebody and have its own life out there.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing gives me more like a feeling of like satisfaction what else do you want from music, that you've sent something out into the world and someone else has received it in such a beautiful way. I remember somebody telling me that their, baby was born to my record and, been played at weddings or, my dad or my mom's pastor was like, will you play the song at my funeral? Like how beautiful it is to connect with the world in that way. And especially when you're feeling like, I don't know, sometimes I have these moments where I'm like, I think it's over. Like, I think my career is over and I haven't done the things I wanted to and I haven't reached the people I wanted to. And then you hear a story like that and it's like, oh, actually, I don't have to, I don't have to worry. It's okay. Music, it keeps living without me and it's a very special thing.
Yeah. Do you ever think about that while you're writing a song? Do you ever, like, if you've been in the middle of writing a song and going like, ooh, that's going to connect, like that line is going to kill on stage or anything like that?
Maybe, I don't know. I think if I'm not like moved personally when I'm writing the song, then it's not going to be a good one. And so I hope that feeling that I get from writing it is what people feel receiving it. But I never know. Like, my favorite songs are never other people's favorite songs, and it's a very weird thing.
Yeah, this has come up on multiple different episodes.
Really?
It's like, very surprising to a lot of people that the one song that people will love about an album was the one that they maybe didn't even want to put on the album, or whatever.
But also, I have this like feeling there, the song Take a Break was on my second record, and it was one of the few songs that got like radio play across the country, and I feel like it was the only way that people really knew me. And in the last couple of years, every time I go out on tour, I send like, okay, I'm picking the songs for this tour. Who wants to hear what? And then no one ever requests that song. And I've been playing it for years out of feeling like I had to play it. And I don't hate that song, but I'm just very tired of it. And I've written so many other songs that I would rather play, and then nobody requests it. It's such a weird, I'm like, okay, like, let myself off that hook,
Yeah, totally. Just time to move on.
Yeah. That was a long time ago.
I do remember that song being everywhere for a little while.
It's so funny. It's such a stupid song.
Catchy as hell, though. How do you maintain good mental health while operating in such a tumultuous industry?
Yes.
Correct.
Yeah, correct. The answer is I don't. Yeah, it's an impossible task. And maybe that's just my own personal journey, but there's also being an artist without a day job equals zero financial stability, constant moving around, trying to figure out, you know, what my job is. And then the feeling of like showing up at a place and there's nobody, like the town, the community hasn't shown up. And I'm like
Mhm.
playing to 6 people in, I don't know, some random northern Alberta town. It's like there's some dark times out
Mhm.
there on the road. But then when it's so good, it leaves you with such a high, and I actually think that that is sort of problematic. Like, I go around,
Yeah.
and everywhere I go, people clap for me. Like, how nice is that? But it's when I come home and then I'm such an introvert, I stay home and nobody's clapping for me, which sounds so stupid, but it's like I really started thinking about it in the last few years because I really do want to be more stable in my own
Mhm.
self, in my own mental health. And it's hard. Like, I had to cancel a tour a couple years ago, um, because I was just too depressed. And how can you not be depressed in a world like we live in right now? It's so hard between, like, all the wars that are happening and all the injustices and, environmental destruction. And then in my own personal life, my mom hasn't been well, and she's on the grand decline at
Mhm.
the end of her life, and I've been her partner in care, and I didn't realize how taxing it was becoming
Mhm.
on me. So between just feeling, like, helpless and hopeless about the world and then having this extra exhaustion from caring for my mom, which is such an honor, but it's hard.
Yep.
I just was like, "I can't leave the house right now. I can't
Mhm.
go." And it was a week before the tour, and most people were actually really great about it and understood.
Mm.
But I guess that's, like, one way of taking care of myself is letting myself not be well for a moment,
Yeah.
recognizing it, and then doing what's important to
Mhm.
to be well. But I think the biggest thing that has changed in the last year for me is just, like, moving my body more,
Mhm.
exercising and walking, like, just simply walking is changing my brain.
Yep.
Um, I've always done a lot of meditation and yoga, and that's been good for me, but I think actually just, like, moving more often is helping a lot. Yeah,
Mhm.
I feel a lot less anxiety in my life, and I think that, like, my depression and my anxiety are kind of the same thing.
Mhm.
So, if I have less anxiety, then I'm likely gonna be less depressed. We'll see how it goes.
It's a valiant effort for
Thank you.
sure. And you have to try everything. That's
Yeah.
yeah, I've tried a little bit of everything over the years too, but lately I've been finding the same thing, probably because we're about the same age
Yeah.
for similar things,
Yeah.
but yeah, just moving my body and also making more art, just giving
Oh,
myself
yeah.
time to draw and paint
That's so great.
and or write silly poetry or whatever, I think
Yeah.
is helps with the anxiety part.
Big time. For me, it's like knitting and sewing.
Mhm.
And knitting, I actually found I could take on the road with me. So, like, even sometimes on a plane, if I'm a little anxious or don't want to be on my phone, I can just knit a pair of socks.
Yeah.
The most expensive socks in the world. My partner Mark says, like, because people are always like, you should sell your knitting. I'm like, do you know how long this took me? I already have one job that, like, doesn't really pay enough. I think nobody needs my socks. But yeah, that, like, finding more practices that aren't a job,
Yeah,
it's powerful. Art is powerful.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. You've been nominated for and won many awards during your career. What does this side of the music industry mean to you? And do you think awards for art are important?
I think that awards are important in their own way. They shouldn't be the goal.
Mhm.
And there's a couple awards that I value. like, I feel proud of myself that I was able to achieve something. And I think they're a very powerful marketing tool. I think that's how the industry runs, is like these moments of, your highs that can show off that yeah,
Yeah,
you're,
accomplished that.
y
Yeah.
or like when you're nominated for something, you can get a lot of mileage on social media out of that.
Yeah.
Like, whether you win or lose actually doesn't really matter that much. And more people, I think, said I was a Juno Award winner before I won the award, and now they never mention it, like in intros at shows or whatever. It's, like, so weird. I'd be like, "Sure, yeah, I totally won." Um, it and that I do feel proud about winning a Juno, like, I think what a feat, like, just this random like, independent artist from
Mhm.
PEI. Of course, I was up against all my friends, so it
Yeah.
was really weird feeling, but and, one of the first Music PEI awards I won was when Isabel was 6 weeks old, and I remember, like, having to pass her off to my mom and to go up and win my first award, and I don't know, like, it's, like, reinforcing. I don't know. There's some good in it, but I also don't really care that much, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I think most artists feel the same way. I remember Adam Gallant saying on the podcast that he thinks of it as like a resume builder, essentially.
Yeah,
It's another thing to put to get more, get
yeah,
more work. So it's
and it's kinda I forget, like, I won't do the whole analogy, but Ward McDonald kind of summed it up like the WWF, like the wrestling the belt, like,
right.
somebody has to win the belt every year, and, like, those people, if they keep winning it, they can't more people can't come up behind that, like, you
Yeah.
have to hand off the belt at some point. Like,
Right.
he had this whole great analogy about the music industry
Yeah.
and how it's like the WWF, and it is kinda true, like,
Yeah.
PEI needs people to go out there and, like, whether we win it at home or we win it out, like, these other awards or have these great opportunities, the more, like, I don't know, that
Well, it's just another person for younger musicians to say, "Oh, that can be done." Just
yeah,
something, like
exactly.
puts us
It's,
on the
like,
map a bit.
aspirational or, like, also, everywhere I go that the East Pointers have been, I don't have to say where PEI is.
Yeah.
It's amazing what
Which
they've
is a lot
done.
of places.
Yeah.
So, well done,
You go to
boys.
Australia and they're like, "Where are you from?" It's like, "I'm from the East Coast of Canada." "Oh, where?" "Prince Edward Island." They're like, "Oh, we know about that." And it's not just because of Anne of Green Gables, It's
Yeah.
like it's really cool, and I think musicians become ambassadors through touring, like, and nobody is better at being ambassadors than people from PEI because we love it here so
100%.
much.
You might even say the east end of the island.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a weird thing, yeah. I think
Mhm.
Adam is right. It helps build your resume, but it also helps build awareness, like, through, yeah, just the whole marketing that comes from awards.
Mhm.
It's
Yep.
a bit of a game.
Yeah. What does success look like for you? Speaking of awards.
It doesn't look like an award. Um, it's an ever-changing thing, and I
Mhm.
think that break in 2020 when so many of us just had stopped what we were doing entirely, and I remember sitting down with Rose Cousins, and she's like, "Well, what more do you want?" Like, "Well, there's a few more things, but what does success look like to me?" I think it's, like, being happy and not being financially unstable all the time,
Mhm.
and that has more to do with faith than it does with actual dollars in my bank account, but, like, there was a certain point at which I recognized that there would always be a swing in my finances, but that somehow I always had food on the table and, like, could feed my
Mhm.
child and buy her clothes.
Yep.
And so once I started to trust in that, it got a little bit easier. And now um, I just wanna be able to, reach people and connect, like, that is the main goal of music for me. It's not about the dollars, but that really helps me to focus on the art when I feel stable
Mm. Mhm.
financially, and, I don't know, I've had so much success in my life, and I feel so lucky that now the question that Rose asked, what more do I want?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's like, well, and to go back to Lloyd Doyle, my goal with he's like, well, what do you want to do? Like, what is your end goal, big dreams? And it was always like to build a grassroots community around my music, like to grow fan by fan, show by show. And
Mm.
like, I think it's more sustainable when you have like feet on the ground in each place that you go to. And like, I don't know if that makes sense, but that is what
Totally.
I've like continued to do. And I feel like that is my success, is like, I continue to do that. And I never needed to be Beyonce or Taylor Swift. But I've somehow made a career out of music, which seems so elusive, but here I am still
You
doing
did
it.
Will you tell me about the book that you're writing about your
Oh.
dad's life?
Yeah.
And maybe I will just note, because I think 99% of the people that listen to this will know who your dad is, but there are listeners in other countries, and we are talking about the iconic Canadian songwriter, Jean MacLellan. And I didn't know about this book until I read something about it online. How's it going?
It's going great. It's been a long process, and I wasn't supposed to write this book. Bob Mercereau from New Brunswick, a CBC journalist and book writer of all music things. He started writing a book about my dad. It must be over 10 years ago. And I think at some point he's like, I've done so much research and I really, like, I could write this book, but it needs a more personal touch. And so he asked me to write it with him. And so I'm not writing it all by myself, which is good because it would never get done. But he also did all that work of researching and talking to people who are now long passed away. And so it's been cool, like, to learn about my dad in this really deep level. Like, I feel like the last bunch of years, like the last 10 years, I've learned a lot about my dad. I did that documentary with Milla. I did a show at the of his life and music that we're doing again actually this summer. And the book is just like the next epic level of learning about my dad. You know, he was born in 1938, and life was very different then. And he lived and grew up in Toronto basically, and witnessed the birth of rock and roll in Canada and played in one of Canada's first rock and roll bands. And to learn about that time and then try to fill in the gaps, because it turns out no one really knew him very well.
Yeah.
Everyone knew these little bits of him. Even his sister was like only there for parts of his life. And it's been really interesting to fill in all those gaps and figure out what was going on. There's still some mystery. But he had an incredible and strange life. Like, he came to PEI, I think, in the early 60s. And he had given up music, but he came here with like a broken heart and a lot of depression, and stayed at his aunt's in Pownal and just started writing songs. Like, I think it was a life-changing time for him. And he just got all of these amazing opportunities that ended up with him writing Snowbird and then giving it to Anne Murray, who then, was such a massive hit. It's still, I play it everywhere I go, and people still are, oh, that song. And I don't know, that may stop at some point because, that song is old.
Maybe, but all it'll take is it to like blow up again somehow, which could happen.
Could happen. So writing this book is hard. I've never written anything longer than a 3-minute song, so it's been a really good challenge for me, and we have finished the first draft and we're working on the second draft right now. And maybe at some point we will conclude this exercise and hopefully it's good. Like, I'm so scared. What if it's terrible? What if we don't know how to write? And what if I
I think
feels
all of those things are impossible, actually.
I don't think it's impossible.
I think if you put that much care and thought and time into a thing, it's not like, and especially with Bob's guidance, because he's done this before.
Yeah.
Like, there's no chance that this wouldn't be beautiful, I would say.
I hope so. I mean, it was a very interesting life, and I'd love because people always, every time I do the show about him, people would come up with more stories, and I always felt like there's so many good stories, and I can't share them all in 2 45-minute sets. But it turns out you can't even share them all in a giant book about his life. There's still so many, but anyway, it's not just the highlights, and it's kind of a fascinating look at, I've learned a lot about the music history of Canada too.
Yeah.
So, yeah. It's another moment of growth for me as a human.
That's what life's all about.
Yeah.
Just keep pushing and you just keep working.
Yeah. Keep learning. Great questions, by the way. It's very fun.
Awesome. Oh, here's one that I missed from earlier. When you were, let's say, 10, 12, 13 years old, what did you want to be when you grew up?
A singer.
Yes. You did it.
I did it.
Talk about measure of success.
Yeah. Actually, I had this moment where, because I grew up in the 80s and 90s, and man, did I love a choreographed dance, you know?
We all did. Give me some Janet Jackson, baby.
A little lip syncing.
Uh-huh.
And every one of those moments, I was like, I'm in a music video. And I grew up, we grew up the, MTV Much Music generation of like watching music videos.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I signed on to True North Records, and they got this big grant for me to make a music video.
Did you say, I need dancers?
No, but like, I was so nervous about it. We did it in Toronto with all these people I didn't know, and I just had to go and like be a person on film, like such a baby. In just like a sweet way. I don't mean I was a baby, in a bad way, but I had to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning that was my pickup time. They were coming to pick me up to take me to the shoot. And like, I was like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this, because I was so scared. And then I just like saw what I was about to do. I was like, Catherine MacLellan, you are about to make a music video, like for real, a real music video with real film and real people. Oh my gosh. That was like, I basically am Debbie Gibson right now. I was trying to channel my inner Debbie Gibson, but didn't quite work. But yeah, that was like pretty cool.
Very cool. It was all about the Cyndi Lauper for me.
Oh yeah,
and a bit Madonna too.
Oh, absolutely.
Those were good days for ladies on
I
TV.
know.
I
mean, I was never going to look like Paula Abdul, though. Like,
oh God, no.
Some sexy music videos she made. Janet Jackson. Whoa.
Ooh, yeah. Yeah.
Rhythm Nation. I'll never forget it.
So amazing. Okay. So how can people support you? I think it's going to be hard for people not to find a Catherine MacLellan album at their local record store or online, but where are people going to be able to see you this spring? Knowing that this will probably air in early May, so in a couple weeks' time.
Okay. You can find me in not very many places right now, because I'm like just finishing up a record, and so I've kind of taken my foot off the gas a little bit. But I will be at small halls. I'm going out to Calgary Folk Fest this summer and a couple other things in Alberta, and I'm going to do an Ontario run in the fall, and I'm going back to Germany for the first time in a lot of years with Lisa McIsaac and Sarah McDougall. So I'm pumped about that. But yeah, I'm not like it. It sounds like a lot of things, but I'm mostly going to be, if you want to find me, like go to Holman's Ice Cream in Summerside, because I'll probably be there.
It sounds like you'll get to spend a lot of time at home this year, which will be
it's
nice.
been really nice actually, and necessary. It's like, because hopefully the next record makes me really busy, and then I have to be away a lot. So, but yeah, I think I love when you said like people can find my records in record stores. I'm not sure that they can, but I think we should all support our local record shop.
Yes, go to your local record. If you can't find it there, ask them.
Yeah, they can order it in.
They can order it.
Maybe. Probably not.
Probably.
Just come to my house. They're in my attic. It's fine.
Okay. Well, is there anything else you wanted to mention or chat about?
I don't think so. It's just been really nice to chat with you. Thanks for having me on the podcast.
Super great. Yeah.
And yeah, more art.
More art.
Yeah.
Thanks, Catherine.
Thank you.
It's nothing and everything. It's a gentle sigh and a scream into the void. It can leave you. It can be you if you let it. You don't know what to do and you don't know what to say. Forget all that. Start anyway. Spark that fire and build it high and watch it burn. Then let it die. It can make you cry. It can dry your eyes. It can be the one that keeps you warm inside, and it breaks your heart, then tells you where to start if you let it. You don't know what to do, and you don't know what to say. Forget all that. Start anyway. Spark that fire, then build it high. Watch it burn, and let it die. It can make you stand up, make you fly. It's a lifetime. In the blink of an eye, it's obsession and objection to the status quo. You got a lot to do, and you got a lot to say. Just write it out, get it on the page. Find your crew, get mobilized, and maybe soon you'll realize that it's nothing and everything. It's a gentle sigh and a scream into the void. It can leave you. It can be you if you let it.